It was April 25th of 2016. She said, "You're having a stroke." So I looked in the mirror, and sure enough, it was pretty clear to me that I was having a stroke. So I went to the local hospital there in Brookhaven, and they facilitated a quick transfer to St. Dominic, where I received life-saving treatment. St. Dominic saved my life and my quality of life.
At St. Dominic's Hospital, everything we do flows from our mission of Christian healing. Our goal every day is to provide health care to our community with compassion, competence, and a commitment to every person's well-being. This is especially true of our emergency department, where physicians and other healthcare professionals work 24 hours a day to provide the highest level of care. We are acutely aware that our current emergency room is not large enough, nor as modern as we'd like, to accommodate the number of patients and the complexity of situations we see in St. Dominic's emergency room each year. We have always been at the forefront of healthcare in Jackson with world-class services that are high-touch as well as high-tech. The need for emergency care is growing, and St. Dominic's must adapt.
In 2010, just over 45,000 patients were treated in our emergency room. Last year, that number was close to 60,000. In the next 10 years, we expect visits to increase by more than 25,000, nearly doubling the number of patients who need our emergency care since 2010. When it was originally constructed almost 50 years ago, our current emergency room was not designed to handle the volume of patients we're seeing today, much less the numbers we expect to see in the near future.
Now is the time to expand and radically improve our emergency department so that St. Dominic's can continue to fulfill our promise to the community, each day setting the high standards for care the community has come to expect over the last 70 years. To meet these high standards, a team of St. Dominic's physicians, medical professionals, and emergency room staff have worked with leading architects to design an expanded, state-of-the-art emergency department to deliver quicker, more efficient, more effective care. The design reflects our mission of compassion and our commitment to excellence in healthcare. So right now, we have one parking lot, one place for all cars to come into, whether that's an ambulance or a visitor or family member dropping off someone into the emergency department, ambulances or vans coming to pick people up. Everybody flows into one pattern right now. It's really important to separate those out. It allows our ambulances to come in, back in without any obstruction, without waiting, and bring our patient into the emergency department. But as well, it then allows people dropping patients off not to be tangled up with those ambulances, so that vehicle can come into a circular area, drop their loved one off, and then that family member can go park. We've designed this emergency department, the new emergency department, with a much larger front door entrance so that as patients come in, they can flow into a waiting room, an expanded waiting room, so that family visitors have a nicer environment to wait in, and that patient can quickly flow through the emergency department. They may not need triage, they might. So they can flow from front desk to triage into one of two pods. And these pods are designed so that they can be opened and then they can be closed based on capacity, which we don't have that capacity right now to do something like that. It's also much more efficient in its design. Our patients are having to leave the emergency department for CAT scans. So we've built in most radiology procedures into dedicated space into the new ED, dedicated CAT scan, and also dedicated X-ray and ultrasound. So we've designed a larger trauma room, so now we'll have 2 dedicated trauma rooms that are very standard in their supplies, larger space so that we can effectively take care of these patients. We've increased the number of our mental health beds in our emergency department because we serve as a conduit to mental health for a large majority of our patients, and St. Dominic's is very committed to providing mental health services to the community. Right now we have a prayer room. This prayer room will be much larger and we'll be able to accommodate more family members. Having a dedicated space where visitors can go or families can go while their loved ones are in the emergency department is very meaningful to us. It's also a place as a patient may be discharged going home can also rest in that area. All these things will help us take care of our patients in a much more safe manner, but also so that they receive, we think, quicker care.
As a Jackson resident, a sometime patient, and a longtime supporter of St. Dominic's, I'm excited about this expansion and what it means for our community. The new emergency department will be one of the most significant capital projects in the hospital's history and will put us once again at the forefront of healthcare in this area. The total estimated cost of this project is just over $40 million. St. Dominic's has budgeted and saved for a large portion, about 75% of this cost. The St. Dominic's family is invested in this project because we're invested in our community. We're turning to the community to complete the commitment to top-notch emergency care for all our neighbors. To this end, the St. Dominic's Health Services Foundation has launched a $10 million capital campaign. We are now seeking financial commitments from individuals, corporations, and foundations who want to join the St. Dominic's family to expand excellence in emergency care.
Won't you join us to make this dream a reality? The St. Dominic's family and your community need you. For us, it's an emergency.